Okay. Time for my second playthrough of Disco Elysium. Not my playthrough, my session with this. Last time we had explored the hostel that we started out in. We figured out that we're probably cops. I assume Kim is a cop. I am a hobocop, actually. And now I have to find a dead body. So, I believe the gardener said the dead body was in this direction. There are bottles inside. You could pick them up if you had a bag. Maybe I could sell the bottles later for money. What's this? Rue de St. Lane, 8B. So I also tried changing the sound settings around a little bit. The UI is incredibly loud by default. And so hopefully we can get more voice and music in this instead. So that looks like the dead body we're looking for. Kid looks like he's playing with it. Let's talk to him.
Kono's got this!
The boy throwing rocks at the dead body can't be older than 12. If there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid, then this is it. He's almost exquisite in his ugliness, like a gremlin.
Oh yeah, never comfy, Kuno.
Yells the other kid behind the fence. Hey, kid, a word. Police business.
Right in the dick, Kuno. Get him right in the dick.
Nice.
Love it in the dick!
I love that censorship sound. Stop throwing rocks at my crime scene.
Fuck that Kuno. Yeah, right in the mouthful.
They pay you no heed or pretend not to notice you.
The shit himself!
The rake, Kuno. You should throw the rake at him, Kuno.
The fuck does Kono know what a rake is? Kono's not a gardener!
So they censored something else, but not that? Kim, what should we do?
We shouldn't do anything. I don't tempt such forces.
I see what you mean, but we've got little choice.
Just take it easy.
He says with what seems like excessive caution. The language these kids are using, pure, unfettered id. There'll be no reasoning with those creatures. Are you kids siblings?
The fuck are you talking about?
He throws another rock.
He's calling us Kuno. He says we're fucking each other.
What? Look, I have questions for you.
Alright, entertain the Kono. Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got, huh? Show me what you got.
Irregular speech patterns, overconfidence. Could this kid be on drugs? This warrants further investigation into this Kuno. The body, what do you know about it? Shitload, pig, what's your question? Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno. Kim, help me out here, what do we want to know? If I were to want to waste my time, which I do not, I would ask him who he is, how he got there, the usual. The usual being, have you seen anything out of the ordinary, or have you seen anything suspicious? Have you seen anyone suspicious around here? Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno. Yeah, you tell the Fagari, Kuno? Looks like you're a Fagari now, whatever that means. The suspicious question doesn't really work in antagonistic situations. Do you know who he was? Kuno's fuck gimp. He picks up a rock. Kuno uses the fuck gimp for target practice. He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know. So you don't know anything. Kuno knows all kinds of shit. Kuno's not a snitch, so that's all. He shakes his head, clearly offended. Trying to make the Kuno sing into the papaphone. Do you know how it got up there? Probably climbed. Kuno was busy, down the road, when that shit went down. So you didn't see it happening. You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. He puffs himself up. Kuno wasn't regional. Oh, okay. Where do you go then? I don't know, some fucking... He looks around trying to come up with something. Mesk or, I don't know, some other place? Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City. There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction novel. How would... Okay, well I do have encyclopedia, but I can't even remember things about my own past. Whatever. That's a fictional city name. Night City doesn't exist. Why you gotta be writing Kuno's ass? You haven't been where Kuno's been. You haven't been in Kuno's head. You wanna know where Kuno was? You wanna know what Kuno's been fucking up to? Don't tell him that, Kuno. It's lame. It's not fucking lame. Kuno's building Kuno's city. Night City. Rage City. The city of rage. That's it. And it's not lame. Lame. That's the name of Kuno's city, bitch. Get the fuck out of Kuno's back. This shit ain't about that. It's impossible to deduce what it is about, at least for the moment. If it's important, it'll come up later. Focus on the case. Alright, more on this later. Right now, let's talk about something else. You're testing Kuno's patience here. Get lost. I still don't know what that would be. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, I know what it would be. Never mind. Okay, I'm off. I don't care about these kids anymore. Kuno doesn't fucking care. This looks like a garbage can. The letter R wears a crown. On the ribbon below, a light above descending. This is the logo of the municipality of Revachol. Can I talk to this kid?
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think.
Take one step closer.
Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in.
I just want to ask you some questions.
I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
Child, converse with me. Hey, kid.
What is this kid shit? Fucking mind games. I'd rather die than squeal.
Get the fuck out of here, face! You got something? Talk to me!
Nah. This kid's ladder is rickety but still climbable. Napa Kimpy. Someone is trying to grow herbs in this greenhouse. The ladder's for kids. It wouldn't hold the weight of a grown man. This winch mechanism has been oxidizing for some years. Can I see that? I can't get behind there. So I do have to get the body down. Some money. Magnesium. The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath. Look down. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils. Ooh, that's no good. God, what is that? Why is it so bad? Active decay. The lieutenant raises a white piece of linen to his nose. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging. He's about to blow. The cop's gonna blow, Kuno. 3%, I like those odds. A failure. The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expected. More fever than odor. It fills your mind, flushing you from within. Let it out. That'll make things better. You feel a great force wringing you from the stomach. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst, until a pool of vomit lies under your feet, and your throat stings from the stomach acid. God. It's okay. Happens to everyone. The lieutenant hands you his white handkerchief. Keep it. Thanks. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. Okay, where do we get ammonia from? That young woman, the gardener, mentioned she used salts for the smell. He nods toward the plaza. If she doesn't have any, there might be some in Freet's store nearby. Having the ammonia is a modifier to the endurance check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them. Okay. So having the gloves from the gardener didn't seem to help. Can I click on... Okay, so the rope is attached to the guy. I can't do anything specific with that. This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says whirling in rags. There's something in there. Not necessarily connected to the case, but still. Why am I looking at you, trash container? You're just a trash container. The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death? Lieutenant, what do you think could be in there? Trash? Food waste from the cafeteria? They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Could be evidence, too. Yes, I feel like there's something in there. What do you mean, feel? It's extrasensory perception. Whatever is in there holds a special significance. I agree, we should get someone from the remote viewers division here. He's being sarcastic. Do not ask what the remote viewer division is. I do want to... I want to ask anyway. Alright, there's no need for sarcasm. I just feel strongly about it, that's all. Maybe it's not connected to the case, but still. Oh, he pauses. It might also be evidence. The mob could have disposed of something in there. We should get it open. How do we get the lock open? We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or Lieutenant? Or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one. He might also have information. This is better than the pry bar idea. Alright. Yellow gardening gloves. Nice. Commemorative pin. Kind green ape pen. Lieutenant's handkerchief. Get ammonia from the gardener at the fruit store. Okay.
Hello again, officer. How are things?
Do you still have your salts? I think I could use some. Sure, I'm done with them. She takes a small capsule out of her breast pocket and hands it to you. Go easy on that stuff. Gave me a terrible headache. Alright. And... oh.
can I help you?
Is the trash container out back yours? Mine. No, it belongs to the whirling in rags. Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked? Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out, that's why. And the neighbors, too. They put their trash in there and they don't pay for the garbage company. I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container? Well, yes, us and the garbage disposal company. It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. I wonder what this feeling is. Prod at him and find out. What if I told you I am a hobo, or soon to be one, rummaging through that trash? Will you keep me out too? Hell yeah. Yes. But I need those leftovers to survive. Sir, I'm sorry, the RCM is having financial trouble, but it's not this establishment's problem. Doesn't it seem callous to you, guarding even your leftovers from the poor? Callous? What are you, Krasmazov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. The whirling in rags is not special in that regard. Krasmazov, nom de guerre, was an economist and a historical materialist. He was a leading figure on the grad side of the Centennial Revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the father of scientific communism, Mazovian thought, or Mazovianism. Yum yum, tell me more. He killed himself. Maybe I am Krasmazov. What are we talking about? Was this not about the trash container? No, wait. Whisper and point to the back of your head. What if I am Krasmazov? We should return to the case of your mistaken identity at a later time, officer. This is about the trash container? Alright, we need those keys. What for, Mazov? Are you planning to nationalize my trash container? It concerns the case. The lieutenant's voice is harsh and sudden. Please cooperate. He takes the keys from under the counter and hands them to you. Just bring them back once you're done, please. I still need to find a song for that karaoke. Maybe just having it in my inventory is enough. That's not great. Do I need to not throw up in order to get the body down? Well, let me try to open up the garbage can. Open the padlock. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't! Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should. This is your time to shine, hobocop. Dive into that dumpster for extra content. Didn't I just have a premonition that there's something in there? There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid. Open the lid. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. We're just in time, the lieutenant peers in. This hasn't been emptied for over a week. Dig in hobocop style for extra content. Wow, an Armistice caliber 50-knot cannon, half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny. What's a knot cannon? It's a giant rifle, and it's very expensive. Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls snaking among the rotten banana peels, however. And is that a Cordon Electrics preamp with Electra F2 tubes? It is! That catches quite a price, and we're talking 12,000 easy. Unless you're into hi-fi yourself. I am into hi-fi. That's too bad, because none of those things are actually in there. There's just food waste and crisp wrappings. God damn. A cool jest. There must be something. All you see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. An antique. Only in its social sensibility. Take the mug. The man briefly glances at the mug, then returns his sight to the trash. Looking at the boxes of carton, you see milk, an egg rest with one broken egg in it, some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below, and turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Pick at the rags. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. Grab them. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air. The victim's clothes. The lieutenant smells them. Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. The lieutenant produces a black plastic bag marked evidence from his pocket. Drop them in here, officer. Bag the trousers. Kim quickly searches the jeans. Guitar, mark blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt too, a wide belt. The loops appear stretched, but... He looks into the container. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here. Something slyly catches your eye. Reach for it. A drab, long-sleeve shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus. Bag the shirt. This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in the urban scenario. He nods to himself. Anything more? The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. Just garbage. That's all, I think. Alright. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard, or that one. He nods toward the red-haired boy behind him. I'd advise against confronting that force. You think someone from the whirling might have been involved, maybe? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash, the lid was locked, and this establishment had a key. It's just a small, loose thread. Yeah, I don't think the kids are involved. But, let's do it. The fuck's he on about, kids? The one behind the fence yells. You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something. See? Okay. Didn't search the food waste yet, though. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly, unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey. Nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. Trash container. What's this? What? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner or something. Pick it out. Damaged ledger. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting. Officer, is that your paperwork? I don't know what this is. Secret task complete. Find your paperwork. It is. Look. He points to the clipboard. The plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in here. A miserable-looking slip of paper sticks to the board. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? like I didn't want to be a cop anymore, so I threw it away. Someone from the whirling threw it in the trash. It has a foreboding quality to it. Maybe I needed to lose it for the great bloodletting to begin. Honestly, it must have been cramping my style. Officer, this is an official piece of paperwork. It probably contains notes on numerous ongoing investigations. It could even list undercover operatives, informants. I suggest integrating it into your style for all our sakes. I don't know, man. Sounds like an order. I don't take those. I don't know. I like Kim Kutaragi, so I'll just do what he says. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. He peers into the trash where soggy cartons and rags stink uninvitingly. Now tell me what your eagle eyes see, or are we finished? Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and find the Interact tab to read your paperwork. Just close it. The container sounds a muffled gong. Weird. That's one thing off the list. The lieutenant sounds relieved. I think we got it all. Open the lid again? Alright, close the lid. Yellow man mug. Use the interact button in inventory to inspect the item. It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. There's quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all the content. Look at all that content. Oh, boy. Here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed away mug that you dug out of the garbage? This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do. I'm going to push this into the face of every merchant I find and tell them, this is your inane ideology. The mug will be useful. By denouncing it, I can earn a political capital to mask my badass hustling, i.e. fraud and embezzlement. The mug didn't belong in the trash. It was just a funny mug. Can't anyone laugh anymore? I don't really want to do any of these things, but I'm going to go with number 2 because it's probably the funniest. So again, you dug it out of the trash. Why? It wasn't going to offend anyone there. Why don't you just get back to your case? Damaged ledger. It's the ledger you found in the trash, a pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from a plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Anything else? There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor. For you. Below the pathetic's terror. Do not look into its blue heart. Inspect the toilet paper. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You could take it off if you want. Leave it there. It's cool. Maybe it's kitchen tissue. They look exactly the same. Take it off. Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off your finger and voila. The ledger now looks marginally better. Inspect the clip. An aluminum block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. Run your finger across the aluminum. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage? That you can read these there? Lieutenant, is this one of the hologram watermarks you mentioned? What? He is lost in his own notes. It takes a moment for him to see it. Yes, a halogen watermark used for adding information to the RCM poverty. Interesting, what kind of information? It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue. Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved. How many years you've been on that force, he's thinking. It'll have that. How can I read it? Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. Before, you mentioned the headlights of your vehicle. Yes, there was a pause. RCM vehicles have headlights turned specific, especially to reveal halogen watermarks. This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on. Alright, that's all, thank you. Okay. While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight. Browse the white papers. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. What is in there? What are they about? Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention, but there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases, undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average. Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant? Huh? He raises his nose from his notes. 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. 2 cases a week appears to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though. 2. He raises both eyebrows. That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you're making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. I burned out all right. That's okay. He nods, then turns back to his own case files. We all do, sooner or later. Like a fan of gills, the checkered paper dries in your hands. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Let's see. There's a mention of a naming convention here. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might even say. One that draws inspiration from Snoop fiction and Vespertine cop show stables. Oh my, and they're written in capital letters too. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural, and another The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. More? Others appear more lighthearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article, Free Collapsing Tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done later, once you're done inspecting them up close. Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention. You mean the alphanumeric, officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? No, I mean a non-numeric one, with titles. Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does. Why is that? It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. I seem to have named the case The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one. He peeks into his notes. The man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. He smiles. I pray his loved ones never find out. What happened to him? Rail spike through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident. Count the pages. I have to open an official case. Is there room? There is, for precisely one more, 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Commit to paper, using the pen Lena gave you. The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brush freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily, it's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. Cross out the ones you've already finished. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you. And you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the Citizens Militia. Now all that remains is to name the case. Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case? No, actually. Any ideas? The Furies are at home in the mirror. The setting sun, shit on a stick. The Hanged Man. Great. That's great. It's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. He flips the pages of his notebook. I'm going to start calling it the Hangman. It's good we sorted this out. Alright. So what more do I have? Logic. Can I read the case files now? Success. Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 4112017:00, the next world mural. Wait, HDB 41, weren't those Officer Precinct? Oh yes, your precinct number is 41. And HDB? Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it, and these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Horace Debbie Behringer? Hram Darjan Binzagen? Those aren't my initials. I'm not feeling them. Yeah, those aren't my initials. I'm not feeling it. Feeling isn't really the jurisdiction we're in right now. Probably for the best, because HDB feels like bad news from yesteryear. Like shit, honcho. How long does it take to read a case? It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start? Oh man. I actually going to take a pause real quick just so I can go to the bathroom, and I will pick this up again when I get back. Okay, back after coming back from the bathroom, and we're still looking at this ledger, all of our case notes. So I realized that played for about half an hour and all we've done is gone to this dead body, but I'm surprised at how dense it all is. Like, just looking through a trash can ended up being pretty funny and interesting to me. But I'm not sure if I want to look through all of this immediately. And I'm thinking that maybe it's just best to revisit it later. But I'm going to figure out at least what the yellow papers are. In the back you see thin translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type form. What types of forms are there? 3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. Misconduct fine. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for $1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields, but they appear pleasantly vague. Station call. These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station, below the call or the criminal charges you risk by not appearing. Field autopsy. That sounds important. A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs. Alright, enough of that. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. Oh, that sounds actually pretty cool. What delicious power hid within this pathetic mess. You feel better. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper. Look at the clipboard itself. It's made of a dark blue plastic hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM. What did you say the color was? Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. Shake the ledger. Something rattles inside ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? Permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged if something happened to it. Peek inside. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it's not see-through. You cannot see to its center. How would I open it? With your hands? U4 size pages hang from the clipboard screwed to the top of the board. Interfacing. Open the hidden compartment in the clipboard. I have a 42% chance to succeed at this? Failure is not what you end up doing. You squeeze the plastic slide to open it, but nothing happens. Then you bend it some, then crack it. The goddamn thing is stuck. The ledger quivers in your hand as it shakes, the pages rustle. This pathetic mess suddenly afraid of you for some reason. Smell the ledger. The acidic stench of rotting food has rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. Alright. Well, that's locked now. Put skill points into interfacing to open this white check. I think I'm going to read the case files later and just get on with this stuff. But it's kind of cool that like reading that actually potentially unlocked different things I could do. Like maybe I can find this kid for being a dick. Who put clothes in the trash? Ask Kuno and Gart. Alright. What's this? Oh, I can level up. Kind of assuming the max is 10. Does each one have an individual? These pictures are really cool. I'm going to go with that. Just because it seems to be a very funny one to have. All the hunches seem a little bit wrong.
Fuck, does Kuno care?
I want to discuss this body with you again. The fuck about it. You're testing Kuno's patience. Get lost. About the crime scene, you kids often play in this yard. Right, Peg, this is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Fuck do you want with it? Dead man's clothes were in the trash container. How did they get there? Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno. I need to know. It could lead into the investigation. Someone may have tampered with the murder scene. Listen! Listen! He stops you. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there. Dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. He points to his pants. Your size. Good price. 500 real. I asked you what happened to his clothes. Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around except for that up there. He points to the cadaver. Now you want performance gear or not, Grandpa? The lieutenant remains silent, but his expression couldn't say, I told you so any louder. Alright, entertain me. What's so great about these pants? Pig. These are Fawn modulars. Liquid fit. Performance crotch. Urban survival shit. Made in Morova. By scientists. Pants. Scientists. Believe it, you need this shit. He unzips his jacket to give you a quick peek at the plastic wrap pants. They're graphite black and look brand new. Physical instrument. Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready. They will also make you look... They will also make you into an idiot. No, Kuno, you don't know anything about the tampering I'm investigating, and I already have pants. Whatever, Kuno is trying to help you, but you're too fat for fun anyway, pig. There was also a mug in the trash. Showing the mug. The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again? Does this racist mug have anything to do with it? Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. He whispers excitedly. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker, 'cause he's the clothes fucker. Can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno. That's exactly what I'm saying, Kuno. Someone has tampered with the crime scene. Clean some of it up. Shit, that's tense. He thinks for a moment. Someone's going to the beatdown basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator? He nods in approval. Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there, and if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can. Tell the Kuno who it was? He's curious? He likes putting two and two together here. Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching. She lets out a hiss, even meaner than before. Get away from my Kuno. Yeah, Kuno jumps back. Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and get out of Kuno's face. The ladder, ever climb it? Look at that fucking shit, he screeches. You try and get Kuno killed? So you would say that the ladder is unclimbable. Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat. The lieutenant takes a quick note in his notebook. It's a trap, Kuno. Don't climb it, Kuno. What's in the greenhouse over there? Dunno, he shrugs. Kipt Asgardna used to work there. Kipt is a pejorative term used to describe people of South Seminese or Areopagite descent. It used to be a common first name among the Areopagites of Lilmara. Not so much anymore. You mean the young woman by the whirling rags, that gardener? Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit. He looks you in the eye and nods as if agreeing with himself. Yeah, her. What was she doing in the greenhouse in March anyway? What kind of gardening is done in March? I should ask her about that. Yes, it seems suspicious. You don't like things being like that. Suspicious. I might have questions later. For now, let's talk about something else. I don't know what to do here with this guy. So the ammonia didn't help much. There's this door here. Pile of Eternite. An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. Medium 11. Why am I looking at this pile of the roofing material? What is this? It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack. Because it's nice and orderly. Well-laid palette. Easy on the eyes. Hey, conceptualization success. Rhythmic pattern. Calms your mind. Mammals like this stuff. Inland Empire. No, there's more to this. You get this strange feeling. What feeling? Hard to say. It's gone now. Feelings pass, you see. Especially the small ones. Huh. It's cool that, like, different skills might trigger than the one that's asked for.
Hello again, officer. How are things?
Tell me, what exactly have you been doing in the greenhouse in March? Well, she points to the wheelbarrow, surprised at the question. This might be the last snow we get. At least I hope so. Snow has nutrients in it. Helps everything green up in the spring. At least that's what my grandma always told me. She smiles shyly. Yes, think about the cute grandma, not the weird snow. Visual calculus. Squint your eyes and look at her intently. Hey, stop looking at her. Look around. What do you see? The traffic jam? That's right. And the canal, the bookstore, the harbor gates. This is a great vantage point for keeping an eye on you. Are you by any chance keeping an eye on us? No, of course not. I don't understand what this is about. She looks toward the yard and her expression clears. The kid did this, right? The red-haired rat? Can't say a sentence without... or Kipt, whatever Kipt is. He's always giving me trouble. I was talking to him, yes. Maybe you shouldn't be. I mean, you do your job, but that kid is beyond help, and he certainly won't help you. She shakes her head. You've been resting here for quite a while, haven't you? The lieutenant intervenes, looking at her intently. Yes, I'm tired. I understand. The RCM isn't welcome here, and the locals want to keep an eye on us. There's silence, the smallest of smiles. That's okay, miss. Do what you have to do. The lieutenant nods at you. I think we're done here. Let's go. Interesting. Doesn't say much, but... Kupris Kinema. Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery, bearing the number 57. Vapor emanates from the large engine on the back of the vehicle. It hasn't had time to cool off yet. This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion. The Corpus Kinema motor carriage. Open the door. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. How do I turn on the headlights? He turns the preheater on, waits, takes out his keys, and says, "All right, ready." I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater. He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant's more than happy to show off his precious carriage. The dashboard lights up with the orange glow. And to wait for that sound effect. Rounds per minute gauges jump, and the engine of Corpus Kinema comes to life with a whiny growl. Press the button labeled headlights. Cooper's kinema, the lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle. There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now. So you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid in the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you. There she is, Revachol West. There's a note of pride in the lieutenant's voice. Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no hundreds of micro-perforations. Look at the shimmering street grid. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the kinema's headlights. Wait, look around you. A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry. Ah, Martinez. He smells the air and says, "Where are we on this?" Point to the halogen map. "Let me see." He takes the ledger for a moment and inspects it. "Right here," he says, his finger near the top of the map, on a segment of coast jutting out into the great ocean. Seems like a shithole. Seems nice. No, it does not, the lieutenant says with optimism. Look at the perforations. There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. Tally up the different rows. The first row has 18 dots. What about the next one? The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border and then some. Count them individually. There are so many it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200. What about the last row? The last row has 3 perforations. 3? That's it? That's it. Hey Kim, what do all these holes mean? Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They're your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look. Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers often do. It's meant. The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? Wait, 18 years I've done this? Got drunk like a megastar. I walked the land telling whores and liars of the end to come. There are 9,855 days remaining. I was a hobo and I lived under a boat. Lived under a boat. Probably some boring office job, same as everybody else. I feel like I just went around apologizing all the time. I was a hobo and I lived under a boat. You know, the RCM is a volunteers organization. We would have no qualms with vagrants joining our ranks where they qualified. But let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see. Wow, more than 200. Is that a lot? It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. So you're saying I used to be a supercop? Call it what you want. You are a valuable member of your precinct. Now let's look at the last row. Right, those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations here. That's not too many for an RCM officer. Especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter. It's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked the man across the desk from her. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankle over said desk, I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and don't really think about it. There's no trace of guilt in his voice. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. It's obvious the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for. Have you ever killed anyone, Kim? Yes, he says, declining to elaborate. It's not a problem for him to state it, however. How do you handle the strain? Everyone has their own method of coping, some more effective or self-destructive than others. He gives you a meaningful look. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Like what? Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now. Maybe I should find a hobby. Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves. He points to your yellow gardening gloves. It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab. Thanks for this. Lieutenant nods. Alright, let's go. Alright, I'll go turn off the lights. He presses a remote control on the key. You can now see your statistics on your journal page. Right off the task description. I'm a superstar cop, apocalypse cop, sorry cop, boring cop, communist, fascist, ultra-liberal, moralist, good cop / bad cop, honor, people killed, cases solved, years in service. Huh. That's pretty cool, I guess. So I am even on superstar cop and sorry cop so far, and I have 3 communist points. And good cop / bad cop is the same row, and I have 2 of whatever that is. Okay. Alright. So I guess I'm going to go back to Gart. Let me see. So I've actually almost been playing for an hour or so. I think I'm going to talk to Gart and then call it for this session. Revachal. Orange is pronounced Orania. Okay, I couldn't read the last part, but I'm bad at European pronunciations. I've only ever studied Spanish and Russian, and it doesn't seem to really help here.
Can I help you?
Here's your trash container key. Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. I found the victim's clothes. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. Could someone on your staff have put them there? Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene. Who else has keys to the trash container? The trash collection service? CS Municipal? I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though. Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threads that solves itself down the road. He turns to the man. Thank you anyway. I've seen something here at the Whirling Gart, a thing I need to talk about. He rolls his eyes. What thing? I saw a sign that said the mess hall is reserved for the Union. Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. He tosses his head in disdain. They come here in the evenings, dumb, unruly types, think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time. He hates the Union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him, so he's directing his frustration at you instead. Retaliate! None of these look like retaliations, but let it go, you're above gratuitous baiting. Oh, it's just baiting him. It's a shame you gotta stick up to the Union to stay afloat. I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to paying customers, and he runs out of steam. It doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you. The lieutenant gives you a meaningful nod. We should find out who this loud faction is occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. How do we find them? We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. He looks toward the booth. Men are hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow. There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that. I saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go in the kitchen? What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. But there may be something pertinent to the investigation in the kitchen. He rolls his eyes. He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... He changes his mind. Fine. Okay. The kitchen is closed until 1300 because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must. That's in a couple hours, I believe. You feel like you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later. By the way, I'm going to sing karaoke here. Absolutely out of the question. You wait and see, cafeteria manager. Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger, then we sing this place to shit. Your body is ready, sire. Awesome. Alright. Find out who is in the union box. And who put the clothes in the trash. It may take a while. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, it was surprising how much stuff was in just a tiny place. I'm not sure if that the whole game is like that, but it's kind of cool that we had all these different options and such few things to interact with. At least I thought the writing was really good. And hopefully the sound is better. I tried messing around with that a little bit to kind of tone down some of the louder sounds. So hopefully the music and voiceovers are a little bit better this time. But yeah, still really cool. So hopefully I get some time to do this later. So until then, have a good one.